Ever had that moment when someone quits, goes on vacation, and suddenly nobody knows how to do their job? It's like they took the secret recipe with them, and now everyone's scrambling to figure things out. This isn't just frustrating, it's a major operations issue. But the good news is we can fix it. Let's talk about how to streamline your processes so work doesn't fall apart when the key people are no longer with the company or they just simply go on vacation. First, let's talk about why this happens in the first place. This is very predictable, and I know no standardized processes, and everyone kind of does things the way that they want, and nothing is documented. All right, the next is tribal knowledge culture. Information is passed by word of mouth instead of being written down, which means only a few people truly understand how things work. And typically, there's no standardization, which is why we often say some do things better than others. There's no cross training. Roles in this situation are often siloed. One person owns a process and nobody else knows how to do it. The next is lack of centralized systems. There are no shared access to critical tools, files, or procedures, making handoff nearly impossible or even worse. You have a centralized system with outdated information that no one uses. If you're thinking, yeah, it's annoying, but we always figure it out, let's talk about what this really costs you. Operational delays. Projects stall while people try to figure out the missing steps. Sometimes this is like a panic response or a late night email or text to hit that deadline, right? Errors and inconsistencies. Without clear processes, mistakes happen and customers notice. Even if they're indirectly affected, they will feel some ramification down the line. Burnout and frustration. This is a big one. People get overwhelmed when they're forced to pick up extra work that they don't fully understand. Remember, people actually quit over 100 little things as opposed to that one big thing. That's what I'm referring to here. And the last is a business risk. What happens if the person handling your most critical functions quits tomorrow? Do you have a plan? All right. So, how do we fix this? Here's how to make sure operations keep running smoothly no matter who's in the office. First, and this one's very predictable, I know, we're going to start by process mapping how work actually gets done in your office, who does what, when, and how. No more mystery steps that only that one person knows, right? The second is I want you to write standard operating procedures. Now, when I say this, it sounds like a daunting task, but every single critical task needs a simple, keyword simple, clear SOP. Not a novel, just a structured guide that everyone can follow. The next is cross training and knowledge sharing. Rotate responsibilities so multiple people know how to handle key tasks. This prevents bottlenecks and reduces dependency on that one person. The fourth is centralized documentation. I know I say this a lot, but I'm always surprised at how few use this. Use a shared platform, whether it's a knowledge base or an intranet or some kind of process management tool, so information is shared to everyone who needs it. And lastly, the fifth is automate where possible. If a process is too manual and prone to errors, let's look at automation solutions to make it more efficient. Let me share a very common scenario. One of our clients had a senior employee leave unexpectedly. I remember meeting this person, and actually, they were the ones who sourced us out. She was on every call, she knew the business inside and out. And I passingly said to the CEO, we should at some point address some of what she does in case she needs to be human and take some time off. But truly, what I was thinking is in case she quits. Her plate was already full, and I knew it. She was the only one who knew how to handle this critical reporting process, most of the onboarding of new clients, the curriculum that they used for their business, and other tasks that directly impacted almost every aspect of the business. One day I received a call, and by the tone of his voice, he sounded both disappointed and a little bit panicked. He told me she wrote everything down, exactly how she did it and what she did, but she did leave unexpectedly. And guys, what I want you to think about here is she did write it down, right? I want you to just pay careful attention to that. She wrote it down, what she did and how she did it. But remember, she is the one who is doing it, just like your team. They are the ones doing the process. So some of the things to her, just like your team, were inherent, and no one else knew how to do these things but her. It took weeks for us to rebuild what she documented, right? So by now, this key former employee, and most of which she didn't emulate of her how, eventually we did come up with a better way to do her tasks, which were mostly manual. But the point is, it took weeks to rebuild what was documented. Eventually, I did come up with a better way of doing some of what she did. With the help of automation, we also created a systemized process for what we couldn't automate. So after that wake up call, we helped them document the rest of the company's key workflows. Some automated reporting and trained multiple employees on how to do certain processes. Now they don't miss a beat, no matter who's out, who quits, or what happens. So if your business is running on personal knowledge, also known as tribal knowledge, instead of documented processes, it's time to fix that before it becomes a crisis.